Yes, everyone, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson. This is Transfer Talk, and it is my absolute pleasure on a Friday afternoon to tell you that Manchester United have finally confirmed a fee for Sir Harry of Maguire, a.k.a. Slabhead, a.k.a. the best defender at the club, sort of. £80 million is the fee. A world record for a defender, which I'm sure is going to have all the tabloids and all the non-United fans absolutely spewing about the price. But do we care? No, we do not, because Manchester United have finally addressed something that needed properly addressing for at least a couple of years, really, isn't it? At least a couple of years. So a couple of the reports that have come out, Romano's come out, Harry Maguire to Manchester United, here we go, total agreement has been reached, last details will be official. Simon Stone, Harry Maguire, fee agreed between United and Leicester, 80 million, subject to medical. And then Craig Norwood, as always, popping in right at the last minute, like, you can't write this shit. Manchester United finally agreed a fee with Leicester City for the transfer of defender Harry Maguire, player now free to undergo a medical and agree personal terms. Well, I'll one-up Mr. Norwood on that one, because I believe that the personal terms was agreed about 3 weeks ago, so this was just a matter of getting the final agreement on the fee. The medical will happen, and he will become a Manchester United player quicker. Well, something really, really quick. Righty then. Why have United paid 80 million for Harry Maguire? Obviously very good in the air, and he's a guy that steps out of defence, but there's more to it than that. If you delve down into a few of the stats, second most successful dribbling defender in the league, attempted 21, 76% pass completion, mint. Highest aerial duel success of any defender, 151 duels, 76.1%, better than Van Dijk, mint. 4.9 clearances per game, more than Smalling and Jones. United defenders average around about 42 passes per game. Maguire somewhere in the region of 56. So he's just an absolute level up on everything that we've got. And he is a leader. And he wasn't my first choice. I know I'm not going to sit here and tell you he was. He was under De Ligt and he was under Koulibaly for me. And I'm not even sure where I put him alongside Alderweireld, but he was in one that I fancied. And I think he's going to massively, massively upgrade Manchester United's defence to the point where I now think that our player of the year, and some can argue whether he truly was our player of the year or not, Luke Shaw, is our weakest link in defence. Heard from one of the players today about Wan-Bissaka, and he just said, guy's ridiculous. Can't get past him. And this is someone that is two-footed. And this is someone who's very quick. And this is someone that's got a brilliant step over and change of direction. So he can't get past him, which I like. I really like. Now, that is a formidable defence. I mean, where do you guys think this defence will stack up in terms of the rest of the league? Because I think it's a very, very strong defence. You can question whether or not we get enough chance creation and goals out of our defence in terms of assists. I think that would be fair. But in terms of a pure defensive defence, talk to me about a better defence, really, realistically, because I'm not sure there's too many. Now, everyone's going to be like, right, now the time to get rid of some deadwood, and Simon Stone sort of touched on that. United have now got like 7 centre-halves. Some of them are either going to have to make a decision to bounce or to sit on a contract. I hope they bounce. I hope they bounce. Abiola says, Shaw, weakest link, laugh my arse off. Okay, well, who's the weakest link then? If it's not Luke Shaw, who's the weakest link in that defence? Explain to me. Now, I'm not saying out of Smalling and Jones and Rojo, etc. I'm talking out of the starting back four. Luke Shaw, for me, is the weakest one in that. Dybala refuses move, say TalkSport. I think there's a lot of stuff come out about Dybala. I think there's a lot in the Dybala one, and I don't think his agent even bothers coming over to Manchester unless he was considering the offer. So I think let's play that one out. Now, if we do manage to go and get Dybala in exchange for Lukaku, who's an absolute cert to be going, then I think United have absolutely had a blinding window, which, to be honest, half an hour ago, it didn't look like we was having a blinding window, did it? That's how fast it can change. Peter Davenport in the comments. Not the Peter Davenport, surely. Maguire, new United captain. Now, I was thinking about this before. He is a leader, but I don't know if he's captain material leader. I mean, what do you guys think? I say no. I say no. Yeah, and some of the comments, they're saying Sean's still quality, though. He is still quality. I'm not saying that he's the worst player. He's got to be the one that's upgrading. I'm literally just saying, like, if someone's going to be the weakest link, it's Luke Shaw for me in that one. De Gea the weakest link, as he hasn't signed the contract. That's a very good point. Hang on, let me get the rest of the comments up. Ronaldo was told Dybala to come here. Well, I also know Paddy Evra's telling Dybala to come here as well. So I think that if Paddy Evra's saying it, Paul Pogba might be the one that's the most important in all of that there. And I think you'll find he's probably got a lot more sway than any of them. Double says, sure, the weakest link. Jesus Christ, Lindelof has been fucking awful. Well, that's just not true, is it? What is a captain nowadays? Well, a captain's got to be the leader. A captain's got to be the one that speaks after the manager and the assistant manager in the changing room. A captain's got to be those voices on the football pitch. A captain's got to hold the other players accountable and to highest of standards. You've got to envision Roy Keane. You've got to envision Brian Robson. You've got to envisage Nemanja Vidic. Those are captains. Those are club captains who lead by example, but also are going to tell you in no uncertain terms whether you're falling short of the standards or not. How can you give the captaincy to the new guy? I agree on that one, Arbin, to be honest. I think you do have to have... It depends on who it is, generally. But yes, as a general rule, I would like to say a captain's got to be someone who's been at there. Only signed homegrown players. Is there a Brexit reason to this? Something that we don't know. I don't even think the clubs fully know the impact that Brexit's going to have. But yeah, it's a very interesting observation that we are only signing Brexit players. And does that worry anyone about what might or potentially might happen with Dybala? We've not had a great track record with South Americans, as good as they've been elsewhere. Not really had a good at all track record with South Americans. Does that not worry anyone? Is that a massive generalisation, or is it founded in some sort of truth there, do you think? Would like to see Shaw now push on as we have the balance to get down that wing. Yeah, that might be it. It might be that Luke Shaw has now got the opportunity to be able to get forward with a bit more freedom because the defence is better. How many more signings before the window is closed? I think one. I don't think it'll be a big one, though. I think it'll probably be like a squad player. But if they do manage to pull off someone like Dybala, you'd definitely be absolutely over the moon with that. How sure is Maguire's transfer? When Norwood says it is done, mate, it's done. Trust Norwood over the club, to be honest. Tevez done well. Well, Tevez did well while he was here, didn't he? But it didn't end very well. Same with Gabby Hines. Gabby Hines was fantastic for a period, and then when it goes wrong, it goes horribly wrong, doesn't it? What about Bruno? See, the Bruno thing, I've never been sure on the Bruno thing. Adam says we need a Maguire without a doubt. Pissed about for far too long with Jones and Smalling, and it's got us nowhere. We need consistency and someone to own that back line. P.S. Fuck the fee. Totally agree, my friend. Raphael was good. That's about it from South America. I think it is about it. Anderson started off quite well and just went downhill massively. What's my thoughts on Ollie this season? What would you mark this season as successful? I think you've got to see progress. I think if Manchester United start the season, because you can never go, if we achieve that, then it's an absolute categorical success. I don't think you can say that. I think you've got to be able to reflect on what happened during the course of the season. What if we're decimated by injuries and we come fourth and you go, do you know what? We did well to come fourth there. But what if we're leading all the way up until like March and then come fourth? You're going to not feel good about that. It obviously depends on how it unfolds and the circumstances that are at play throughout the course of the season. For me personally, I would like to see us get into the top four. This is minimum requirement. I'm going to parade around Piccadilly if we achieve this. This is just the minimum. The minimum I would expect is that we get into the top four. The next minimum I expect is that we continue with this philosophy of fast attacking football, and if he keeps playing the youngsters like he has been doing, then this is absolutely fantastic, and that I would consider a successful season, because unlike all the previous seasons, it's progress, and it's progress with a hell of a young team as well. So that means that progress can potentially grow the following season, because this always takes a little while. So we'll see how it goes down. But for me, I would say, do me a favour. Are you happy with Maguire? Hit the like button. If you didn't want Maguire, give it a downvote. Let's have a see where that comes out with whether people like that or dislike that. Let me know in the comments, because I am seeing a couple of comments saying that this is too much expensive, he's not good enough, a couple of things like that. Valencia was great, more or less, but like the guy didn't learn English. I didn't really dig that, to be honest. Could Bruno have been smoke and mirrors? The whole Dybala saga seems too complicated for it to have sprung up. I knew there was something going on. I didn't know who it was, and I guessed about 6 weeks ago that it was Dybala. And I've still not had the confirmation that it was Dybala. It still could have been somebody else. But I think it's been on the on the cards for a while. Who do I think we should sell? A lot of them. A lot of them. Yeah, happy with Harry. Golden Gloves, most clean sheets, best back five, says Esbu. Do you know what? That might not be a bad shout, you know. If Dave can get his head back in the game, I think he could easily reclaim his place as the best goalkeeper in this league. He definitely lost that last season, but I think he could reclaim that. It's too expensive, says Omar. With that defence, Tagarian goals is going to be a great wall, says Hunting for Wi-Fi. It wasn't Dybala, it was Ericsson, says Craig. I think Ericsson's one that could potentially move as well, to be honest with you. And I wouldn't be upset at us being in for Ericsson either. I do like him. I'm a big fan of Ericsson. Screw the cost, we needed Maguire badly, says Unbearable. I would agree with that one. That's my sort of sentiment on this one. Ericsson is a target. Dybala would be a stupid signing. He's slow and cannot play on the wings. I don't think he's slow. I certainly won't say he was slow. We need 2 new midfielders. Don't think many people would argue with that. Time to ship out Smalling, says Governor Bandicoot. Would I loan Chong out this year? Yes, I would. I think of all the ones that are just breaking into the first team, I think Mason should stay. I don't think Mason's the sort of player that would benefit from a loan. I think he's such a top potential quality that he should be given the opportunity here. The same sort of goes for Angel Gomez, but I think Angel would benefit from a loan more. I think Angel needs that week to week, 60 to 90 minutes every single week, and you're going to see a real top player develop if he gets that. I think Mason would be fine coming off the bench for 20 minutes here and there, and I think he will get goals doing that. Chong, I'm not sure if he's United level quality, even though the guys won both the reserve and the under-18 Player of the Year awards back-to-back. I still got question marks over his true quality. I would like to see him go on loan somewhere. I think Bundesliga or Spain would be perfect for him, or maybe even France, or maybe back home to Holland. Jimmy Garner, I think, would be a brilliant player in a championship team, or maybe bottom half of the Premier League team for a couple of years to see what sort of level he's at. Because I honestly think that, I think Longstaff would be a decent option for United if he was cheap enough. Certainly not 50 million. That's absolutely ridiculous. But Jimmy Garner, for me, is no worse than him at all. No worse at all than him. I've had a super chat from Lab N. He says 20 plus clean sheets with the 2 new signings. Ooh, 20 clean sheets in a season is some going. If we get 20 clean sheets, there's no way United aren't finishing in the top 3, let alone the top 4. Would I rather keep Smalling or Jones? How bad is it? I don't even really care. Tuanzebe's better than both of them. How about that? Hate to say it, but if he's half as good as Van Dijk, he won't be expensive at all. Hopefully the same impact. I don't think he is as good as Van Dijk. This is the inflation that you get for being British or English, and also with the Manchester United tax on top of that as well. So I think that it's one of those cases. For those that are just getting onto the video, Manchester United have agreed a fee with Leicester City. It has been reported at 85. It's also been reported at 80. Simon Stone and a couple of others that I noticed are going with 80. So we've gone to report with the 80 as well. I'm absolutely delighted. Out of 10. How needed was this signing? Let me know in the comments. And who do you guys want to see next? For me, I know everyone's going to say Dybala because it seems like that one's quite close. Or Bruno Fernandes, not so close in my opinion, but I think I would rather have somebody like a Milinkovic-Savic, and then Ndidi. I can't believe Idrissa Gueye's gone to Paris for the money he's gone. I want to replace Herrera. That's what I would like to do next. And I think the goals will come. And I think you can give the likes of Angel Gomez an opportunity. And probably that would do for the creativity. And I'm very interested to see what Sanchez does as well this season, because he's been completely forgotten about because he's not been here for pre-season. So I would be very interested in seeing how that all goes down. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking about that one. Where was that then? Let me find you. Just saw a comment I wanted to read out. And now another super chat from Ashish says, if we had to pay so much, why not someone like Koulibaly? Because Koulibaly was going to be another 40 million on top of that one, at least. So that's potentially another signing. I mean, he was my first choice, but clearly the club couldn't do the deal with them. So that's the end of that. Rojo and Damian gotta go, says J. Wayne Jackson. Centre mid we need desperately, says Mini. Ghana is going to be brilliant, says Paul Lucas. Keep Smalling, says Omar. Ruining the market, says Jamie Walsh. And all right, yeah, it's not to do with what Paris Saint-Germain are doing, is it? What do we reckon about Mandzukic as plan B? That popped up today, didn't it? Yeah, I would actually, because I think our forwards are in the fast dribbler type mould, and we don't have a plan B, and we could do a lot worse than Mandzukic, actually. Yeah. I think Andy Carroll or someone's going on a free, and I think as a pure backup, him or even someone like Danny Welbeck, someone that's going to play 5 games a year for you or be a very specific tool for free or for next to nothing, is a no-brainer for me. If they're going to start every game, there's a problem. But if they're only going to be here for a few games, yeah, because you've got to have multiple tools for multiple jobs, haven't you? You can't just play one way. That's when you break down. Right, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to call it a day there. Thank you for watching. There is an Instagram Q&A coming out a little bit later on, so make sure you're subscribed. And if you're already subscribed, hit the notification bell, because you know what YouTube's like. It doesn't give you every single video. And if you're not going to the game tomorrow and you're watching on TV, then come and join me on Stretford Paddock for our watch-along tomorrow. And maybe there's an interview coming out with Rio Ferdinand ahead of the start of the season on my channel as well. So hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one. Laters.